The term Ubuntu was popularized by Bishop Desmond Tutu when he was the chairman of South Africa's Truth and Reconciliation Commission. It is for this reason that Ubuntu is often thought of as a South African term. But Ubuntu is universal among all Bantu-speaking people of Africa. In Uganda, it is known as Ubuntu and Obuntubulamu.
The character of Obuntubulamu embraces, encourages, and promotes recognition and understanding of our common and shared humanity as a people. It espouses the values of compassion, integrity, dignity, responsibility, discipline, empathy, and simply love and caring.
The United Nations in Uganda is pursuing sustainable development and peace building using Obuntubulamu. Obuntubulamu gives an opportunity for a values-based approach to conflict prevention and peace building in Uganda.
If we took on the value of Obuntubulamu, if we sit and negotiate and come up with a solution on some of these issues, we will not have extremes of people dying, we will not have extremes of domestic violence, we will not have extremes of violence towards children, we will not have extremes of all sorts of violence.
Ah, yes. The greed, you see the greed, the indiscipline, nobody cares about the other. You know, it's because of lack of Obuntubulamu, you know, and I think that we have got to go back and discover that where did we lose it.
Obuntubulamu values are shared by all people of Uganda, among them the Buganda, Acholi, Aluru, Bunyoro, and Busoga kingdoms.
With Obuntubulamu, the child was raised by the village. For example, you don't walk while eating, you know. You must greet people. You find an elderly person carrying luggage. You must help that elderly person. You find an elderly person pushing a bicycle uphill. You must help him.
In Busoga, when we talk about Obuntubulamu, we're talking about politeness. We're talking about the tenets of being humble. We are talking about the tenets of being human, humility.
Obuntubulamu, I would understand it as humility, or humbleness, empathy, how you feel, how people treat each other nicely and for good living. That's Ubuntu in our language, in our culture, it's called Ubuntu.
The Nabagereka Development Foundation is a local NGO founded by Her Royal Highness Sylvia Najinda, the Queen of Buganda. Its vision is celebrating positive culture and promoting development solutions. Now, the foundation is working with other cultural institutions in Uganda to breathe life back into the practice of Obuntubulamu.
NGF's strategic plan clearly spells out that the foundation will use Obuntubulamu as the key driver of all its programs and interventions. In our strategic plan, we are guided by 4 strategic objectives, which are using Obuntubulamu for social transformation, sustainable livelihoods and agriculture, integrating cultural voice in national, regional and global policies and processes, and institutional development and sustainability.
The collaborations among the different cultural institutions is supported by the United Nations.
One of the things that we have discovered during our time here is that the more you speak to different cultures, the more you realize that the assumptions and the beliefs behind them are shared. The reason why we believe that Ubuntu and Obuntubulamu are universal values is that when you speak to the elders and the cultural leaders and even some of the religious leaders, they tell you that it's all about our shared humanity. It's about a shared space, it's about respect, and it's about dignity. And if you think about those concepts and you take them to the global level, this is exactly what the Sustainable Development Goals agenda is all about.
Obuntubulamu in particular resonates with Sustainable Development Goal number 16, which focuses on peace, justice, and strong institutions. But one may ask, just how does Obuntubulamu contribute to peace and unity?
What I see in Obuntubulamu is the element of coexistence. And it describes a lot about, it's not just about you, it's about even others. And it's about those good things that should be surrounding you as a human person. Now the list is endless, but I think from our point of, from the point of the Lur kingdom understanding, one thing they emphasize is that you are not alone.
And how, one may still ask, does Obuntubulamu contribute to development?
We have a saying in Bunyoro that oba n'obuntu otunga abantu otunga ebintu. When you have humility, you get people coming to you. You understand? They're attracted to you because you have humility. And when they come to you, then you get wealth. That comes from networking. You know, networking is one of the ways that can enhance development in this country, because what you know, you share, you come together. So when you have n'obuntu otunga abantu otunga ebintu, that is the local saying of that thing.
The Nabagereka Development Foundation has an annual youth event known as Ekisakati. One could describe it as a boot camp at which the values of Obuntubulamu are instilled into the younger generation.
You're arming them, you're giving them the tools to use when they grow up. So this is why we're emphasizing from a much younger age. And truthfully, it should start from below 6, but we're starting at 6 years old. And that's a very critical stage in any person's life.
okwekolera ebintu ebitukulaakulanya okwekiririzaamu awamu n'okwesimba kyemaye mukyemize okwesa oba okwesa ekitiibwa nzo kye tuyita respect naye wesa kumwenye ekitiibwa ngagwe naye nosaamu n'abalala ekitiibwa tigaba omukyala oba omwami wesaamu ekitiibwa mu ngeri gy'oyogeramu
The efforts of cultural institutions have turned Obuntubulamu from a dormant word into a practice. It is no longer simply aspirational. It is something that one does and something that is expected of one by society.
The fundamental understanding of Obuntubulamu to me would be basically humility in the community, an extra extension of a hand of help. It could be help, it could be inspiration, it could be encouragement to those people.
Omuntu bwabanga zenga mukambwe wekakkana wajjanga mukakkamu nawe mutwale nti muki oli mukakkamu.
I'm really confident that what we're doing as the United Nations in Uganda is actually an example for the world. We're using indigenous knowledge and indigenous capacity to redefine how a country pursues its development. And we believe that people should come to the Pearl of Africa and see what we're doing, be inspired, and support what they will see.